Welcome to the world, where we teach you real English in an easy and fun way. Today, we're going to explore the fascinating world of numbers in English, from the simple 1, 2, 3 to the more complex 123,456,789. We'll cover it all. Numbers are one of the basic building blocks of language, and they're necessary in our everyday life. Whether you're buying groceries or waiting at a bank, learning them is essential. 10 to 1, you'll master English numbers in no time if you follow the tips provided in this video and practice. So, let's start counting. And let's start from the very beginning. Let's start from 0. You're probably thinking, how easy is this? Are they crazy making a video on how to say 0, the absence of quantity? Well, actually, it's more complicated than it looks. 0, this is the standard and widely used term. So 0 is widely used in both American and British English. It is the standard term for the numerical digit 0. In everyday language and in scientific, technical or mathematical contexts, 0 is the preferred term. For example, the temperature is currently 0 degrees. In British English, we often say naught instead of 0. For example, he scored naught in the exam. And actually, it can also be spelled N-A-U-G-H-T or N-O-U-G-H-T. Both words mean nothing, and in American English, they are more or less interchangeable, though N-A-U-G-H-T is more common spelling. In both British and American English, naught is used in non-mathematical contexts to mean nothing, usually in phrases like for naught or come to naught. For example, but all this work could be for naught if the NFL owners and players fail to agree on a new collective bargaining agreement by March 3rd. Nil is commonly used in sports scores and formal contexts instead of 0 or naught. For example, the team scored nil in the first half. While in tennis, when the score is tied with no points scored by either player, it is referred to as love instead of 0. The origin of using love for 0 in tennis actually is uncertain. The most accepted theory is that it comes from the expression to play for love. The idea is that a person who fails to make any points doesn't care because they are playing for love of the game rather than playing to win. In British English, the number 0 is often read as the letter O. For example, James Bond's designation is always read as 007, not 007 or 007. So we say O, especially when 0 occurs within a list of other digits, as well as telephone numbers, as we will see later. The letter O is also used in spoken English when saying the times in the 24-hour clock, used by both British and American military forces. Therefore, 5 past 4 is 16:05 and 8:30 is 08:30. Now let's move on to the rest of the numbers. Nothing much to note about numbers 1 to 12, except for maybe the spelling of 12, which is a little tricky. So in the next sets of numbers, even native speakers often ask for clarification. For example, it is easy to confuse 13 or 14 and 30 and 40. So here's a tip. You know those beings that sometimes inhabit our homes called teenagers? Well, they are called that because their age is 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17. So they are teen plus ages, that is the age of the teen. So when you say these numbers, remember to stress the teen part of the number. while all the numbers that end in 0 end in T. So listen to the difference. 13, 30. 14, 40. Here is an example in a sentence. In the enchanted garden, 17 fairies were busy planting a garden with 70 flowers. Now let's move on to the hundreds and beyond. If you have a specific number of hundreds and thousands and millions, you can say the specific number, for example, 200. However, if we don't have an exact number, we can often use a or one. For example, there were about 100 people at the wedding. In the UK, it is common to use and after 100, but in the USA it is not. For example, 550 in the UK is 550, but in the USA it is simply 550 without and. As we venture into larger quantities, remember thousand, million or billion, these are never plural. So we don't say 300s, but 300, or 6 millions, but 6 million. So it's 5 million stars, $2,000, or 10 million dreams. How do we say a long number like the one you see on the screen? You should simply break it down into segments. For example, 123 million, 456,789. When dealing with large numbers, unlike other languages, in English we separate thousands with commas and not by a point. For instance, 1,000 or 100,000. Thank you for watching the first part of our video on numbers. We hope you enjoyed it and we hope you learned something useful. Write in the comments if you find most difficult to say or to understand numbers. In our next video, we will deal with decimal points, telephones, and dates. So don't miss out. Remember, mastering a language is all about practice and perseverance. So keep practicing, keep learning, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we grow as learners. And remember, as we say in English, practice makes perfect. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and we hope to see you soon for another video. Thanks for watching.